Termination on trade partnership from Indonesia to China following coronavirus outbreaks had brought out a reaction from government of China. Such expression had been expressed by Xiao Qian, the ambassador of People's Republic of China to Indonesia. Let's see how Beijing reaction on this. This is the statement from Xiao Qian, the ambassador of People's Republic of China to Indonesia towards the termination or temporary termination of the trade partnership between China and Indonesia. He said that this temporary trade partnership termination will harm both countries. It is also will put relationship between two countries at risk. Beijing expressed its displeasure after Trade Minister Agus Suparmanto hinted in local reports that Jakarta might ban Chinese from importing food and beverages to Indonesia following the virus outbreak. Although Senior Minister Luhut Panjaitan was quick to refute the commitments or the comments, President Joko Widodo also demonstrated that he would not shy away from decisions made for the sake of protecting our homeland from the coronavirus outbreak. He even said ahead of the Bogor meeting that there was an opportunity to source goods from other countries that otherwise would have come from China. As it had been said by Qian, both countries will experiencing loss due to the trade temporary termination, since the trade dependency between two countries is quite intense. So how important is China for Indonesia as trading partner? Let's see the next data. This is China as the biggest of Indonesia's non-oil and gas commodities export destination in billion US dollar. As you can see, China is outnumbered another four countries on the data. China, we can say the value or the trading value or the export value from Indonesia to China as much as 25.8 billion US dollar, and to USA as much as 17.7 billion US dollar, to Japan 13.7 billion US dollar, India 11.6 billion US dollar, and Singapore in 2020 as much as 9 billion US dollar. China is Indonesia's largest trading partner, with total trade value between Indonesia and China in 2018 reaching at 72.6 billion US dollar. In addition, China is the third largest foreign investor with a total investment value in 2018 reaching 2.3 billion US dollar. Meantime, in general, the top exports of Indonesia to some export destination countries such as coal briquettes, palm oil, petroleum gas, rubber, and crude petroleum. China also have become one of Indonesia's export destination for Indonesia's main export commodity, which is CPO. Let's see the next data. This is Indonesia's CPO main export destinations in million tons in 2018. The first one, we have India. The volume of CPO imported to or exported to India as much as 6.7 million tons. And after that, we've got Europe as much as 4.7 million tons, China 4.4 million tons of CPO, Africa 2.9 million tons, and Pakistan 2.5 million tons. Indonesia, the world's biggest producer of palm oil, is anticipating a boost in exports of the commodity to China, taking advantage of an opportunity opened up by the escalating trade war between Beijing and Washington. The move also presents Indonesia with a respite from its own trade woes, namely a planned phase-out of palm oil from biofuel in the European Union, its second biggest export market, and a likely decrease in duties by India and which is #1 export customer. Indonesia also have become China's important trading partner. Billions of trading value had been obtained by China by exporting their goods to Indonesia. Let's see the next data. This is imported goods from China to Indonesia with the largest value in 2018. Indonesia imported as much as 10.06 billion US dollar in the form of electronics product, machineries as much as 9.86 billion US dollar, iron and steel 2.17 billion US dollar, plastic 1.75 billion, and organic chemicals as much as 1.54 billion US dollar. This one is taken from UN Comtrade 2019's data. Talking about the existence of imported steel from China in Indonesia. Indonesian business groups want the government to hike tariffs on Chinese steel to rein in cheap imports. The industry turmoil comes despite a boom in infrastructure investment by the government in the last few years, with business groups blaming imported steel as the main factor responsible for the pressure. Although Indonesia's domestic industry produces 17 million tons of steel a year, only 57% was absorbed by the market. Half the domestic demand, for 20.3 million tons, is supplied from abroad. Anyway, high dependency of Indonesia on imported products from China had caused imbalance in Indonesia trade balance with China, of course, as it is shown in the next data. This is Indonesia's trade deficit with China from 2014 to 2018. In 2014, the deficit or trade deficit of Indonesia to China as much as $13 billion. The number is pretty fluctuative, but the biggest trade deficit happened in 2018. The number was $18.4 billion. This one is taken from Ministry of Trade's data. Indonesia recorded a non-oil and gas trade deficit with China of $11.05 billion during the first 7 months of 2019, or until July 2019. The deficit was higher than the record from the same period of last year of $10.33 billion. Data from the Central Bureau of Statistics, or BPS, showed that as of July 2019, non-oil and gas imports from China reached $24.73 billion, or 29.08% of Indonesia's total imports. On the other hand, Indonesia's export to China were only $13.68 billion, or 15.53% of the total export. And one thing that government of China needs to understand about the temporary trade termination, that this is a necessary effort to protect Indonesia's society from getting exposed by coronavirus. The effort is, of course, without putting aside China as important trading partner for Indonesia. Stay tuned on Market Lines because we'll be right back after the break.